Good morning, everyone. Paul Ruppel here from Fox 29 News Now, bringing you the latest stories from Fox 29 Newsroom after Good Day Philadelphia goes off the air. We're here with you weekdays from about 10 a.m. till 11 a.m. First one we want to get to is a traffic accident that occurred on the Pennsylvania Turnpike this morning. This looked like a bad crash scene. Let's show you a little video of that. This was, that's not the right footage. This was an accident that occurred on the Pennsylvania Turnpike. It occurred in the area of Plymouth Meeting and on the Pennsylvania Turnpike and Germantown Pike. We're told that a 26-year-old man was taken by helicopter to University of Pennsylvania Hospital with head and facial injuries. We're working to get some more information from police about this. Not sure why my video is not rolling for you, but it was a car that became stuck beneath a tractor trailer, sadly. So hope for the best. Hope everyone's okay. We haven't heard any word on the extent of injuries. Let's get you to another story. This is one that our Sabina Kuriakos, or Jenny Joyce, has been following this morning. This is an update on the homicide case that occurred in Montgomery County on the main line in Ardmore. The suspect accused of killing a woman in her condo is now in custody and back in our area. Jenny's been following the story all morning and has the latest details in this report from the Lower Merion Police Station in Ardmore.
We do expect Jonathan Harris to be arraigned at some point today here in Montgomery County on murder charges. He is the man who police say beat Christina Kraft and then strangled her. 30-year-old Jonathan Wesley Harris of Western PA was on his way back from Pittsburgh to face first, second, and third-degree murder charges in the death of a 36-year-old model who lived on the main line. News of the arrest came the same day the victim, Christina Kraft, was laid to rest in New Jersey. According to police, it was a piece of surveillance video from the day Kraft's body was discovered that proved helpful in Harris's capture. The video shows the pair walking through Center City. Investigators released the footage earlier this week and received a tip about Harris. Harris's cell phone was another piece of important evidence. Police say it was text messages that confirmed his whereabouts on the morning that Kraft was killed. Police said that they could not comment on a possible motive.
I can't get into all of that, and I have not seen any indication that there was any previous relationship or anything along those lines. And we won't know that, and as these things go, we're going to continue to investigate, and we got a lot more work to do, and we will pursue that, and we'll pursue a lot of those angles.
Harris was just released from state prison last month. He served a 3-year sentence for a robbery conviction. We are told that he is back in our area. He's being held at the Montgomery County Prison. Back to you.
That was Jenny Joyce reporting with the latest on that murder investigation, the arrest of the suspect, who's now, as she reported, back in our area. Figured out my issue with the video there, so we'll show you a little bit of video of this accident that occurred earlier on the Pennsylvania Turnpike. This was a car that became stuck beneath a tractor trailer. Again, we heard that that a male driver has been transported to the hospital. We do not have word on the extent of his injuries or his condition. This was crews working to free the car as it was stuck beneath the big rig there. They lifted the tractor trailer and pulled the car out. Later, you could see traffic getting by in one direction. The other direction, people were being brought on from the interchange there. I believe this was the Norristown interchange, right about where this occurred. I do have an update for you from the Pennsylvania Turnpike. They tweeted a short while ago that the congestion from the earlier accident is now clear. Traffic has returned to normal conditions. This was at 9:38 this morning. Pennsylvania Turnpike tweeting that the accident, this was on I-276, the Pennsylvania Turnpike, at mile marker 333, now clear. Let's get you to another story. This is Fox 29's Sabina Kuriakose. She is following a robbery that occurred in a series of robberies in Bucks County. Police are searching for the serial robber targeting 7-Eleven stores in Philadelphia and Bucks County. Police say the guy struck 4 times since last Monday. Sabina has more details in this report.
So Bensalem police say that this 7-Eleven right off of Lincoln Highway was where the armed robber struck. And actually, this guy has a very specific nickname. It comes from a brand of cigarette, Newport cigarettes, because aside from money, that's the only other thing this guy apparently takes. Now let's go to that surveillance video once again. Again, police in Bensalem and Northeast Philadelphia say this guy has struck 4 times in the last 9 days. That's since last Monday. Now, 3 of those 7-Elevens have been in Northeast Philadelphia. The other one, again, here in Bensalem. But so they say that the guy, he walks into the 7-Eleven. He is armed with a handgun. He holds up the clerk. This is always happening late at night. He then demands money from the register, wipes it out, and he also grabs several boxes of Newport cigarettes. So far, nobody has been hurt, but there is concern among law enforcement that this guy could escalate. We talked to one clerk over in Philadelphia who was working at the time when this guy walked in. He's a 19-year-old kid. He says he was shaken when the guy came in, but he tried to stay calm and just get the guy out of the store. Let's listen.
So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to be real calm, real civil, act like he's another customer and try and get him out of the door happy and as fast as possible.
Yeah, this guy, he just doesn't care. I mean, it's to the point where they're just coming in. You know, these all have multiple camera systems in them, and they're still, still doing it.
So those stores in Philadelphia, 2 of them were on Rising Sun Avenue. The other one was on Cottman. So far, the guy has gotten away with about $1,200 in cash. Now, back out here again, this armed robber does have a weapon on him. Police say that so far he hasn't hurt anybody, but they are worried that he could escalate, so they are in a rush to get him off the street. Obviously, if you recognize the man in that surveillance video, call Philadelphia or Bensalem police. Back to you.
That was Sabina Kuriakose reporting on the robber dubbed the Newport Bandit, based on his takings from a series of 7-Elevens in the Philadelphia and Bucks County areas. We have some new video into the newsroom. This is just recently in from Philadelphia police. Let's show that to you. Police are looking to track down 2 men who they say attacked and robbed a man at knife point in South Philadelphia earlier this month. The incident occurred on August 15th around 3:15 a.m. on the 400 block of Dickinson Street. Police say the 29-year-old victim was attacked by 2 suspects who had approached him from behind. During the attack, the victim was thrown to the ground, and one of the suspects then pulled out a knife and demanded the victim's valuables. The suspects took the victim's wallet, which contained credit cards, a debit card, insurance card, and just $2. Both suspects were last seen heading south on 5th Street towards Tasker Street. Police have described the suspects as 2 white males. Anyone with information about these suspects is asked to contact police. Another guilty plea is expected today in the hazing death of a former pledge at Penn State University. Bohan Song is the 3rd Beta Theta Pi brother to enter that plea this morning. He's accused of supplying alcohol to a minor. 19-year-old pledge Timothy Piazza died after a night of drinking last year. A lawsuit has now been filed on behalf of a homeless veteran who spent his last $20 to help a local woman who ran out of gas on I-95. Law firm Cozen O'Connor filed the suit late Tuesday on behalf of Johnny Bobbitt. The woman he helped, Kate McClure, raised more than $400,000 in a GoFundMe account for him after their story went viral. But Bobbitt claims he has no access to the money and that McClure and her boyfriend, Mark D'Amico, instead are spending it on themselves. We've been unable to reach them for comment, but in published reports they claim they paid all Bobbitt's expenses for months, including buying him a trailer and letting him and his brother live on their property. and they say they will not give Johnny more money until he stops using drugs. So, what had been a very happy viral story, a little bit of a disappointing turn. Hopefully they can get that resolved. Here's a story that we brought you yesterday as breaking news during our News Now newscast. Let's get that for you. As the Eagles prepare to take on the New York Jets in a preseason game tonight at the Link, a former Bird is in serious legal trouble. The Browns have released linebacker Michael Kendricks hours after federal prosecutors in Philadelphia charged him with insider trading. The team made the swift move Monday night. Kendricks and an acquaintance allegedly made $1.2 million in illegal profits on 4 major trading deals.
This is not gaming the system. It's a federal crime. This was a well-coordinated, scripted effort whereby the subjects employed specific measures to mask their activities. These measures highlighted that Mr. Kendricks and Mr. Sonoiki knew what they were doing was wrong.
Kendricks apologized for his actions, but it will cost him his job with the Browns. He had signed as a free agent with the team in June after winning a Super Bowl with the Eagles last season. He released this statement saying in part, "I'd like to apologize. 4 years ago, I participated in insider trading, and I deeply regret it. I invested money with a former friend of mine who I thought I could trust and who I greatly admired. His background as a Harvard graduate and an employee of Goldman Sachs gave me a false sense of confidence." William McSwain, the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Pennsylvania, said both Kendricks and Sonoiki face substantial prison time if convicted. Another appeal in a legal battle for former death row inmate Mumia Abu-Jamal. He'll be back in court today requesting that his previous failed appeal attempts be thrown out so he can once again appeal his case. The former Black Panther spent 29 years on death row after being convicted of killing a Philadelphia police officer. That death sentence was later reduced to life in prison without parole. There's a rally for Mumia. It was scheduled to begin at Love Park at 8 a.m. this morning. I believe the police, Fraternal Order of Police, also put out a call for officers and members of the union to appear and put out a show of force, a blue force, as this hearing unfolds today. Well, it's certainly been hot and humid in our area the last few days. Let's get you a look at live conditions here. It's 83 in Philadelphia. Winds out of north-northeast, 14 miles an hour. It's a bit of more of a breeze than we've had lately. It's been a bit of a hot breeze, actually. Doylestown 83, Wilmington 84, Atlantic City 86. Winds also about 12 miles per hour in Wilmington and Atlantic City also. Let's take a live look outside our studios. We'll show you the temperature and humidity. 83 degrees, as we mentioned. Dew point 68. I believe it was up in the 70s yesterday, so a little more comfortable. We're hoping for some more relief as we move through the day and into the weekend. Temperatures are going to be cooler tomorrow for sure. Wind out of the north at 13 miles an hour right now. Another nice sunny day outside our studios in Old City, Philadelphia. Let's take a look at Ultimate Doppler right now. A few small scattered showers, possibly. Could be some radar feedback. But not much in the way to speak of at the moment in rain. Temperatures don't want to load for us. Here we go. Now they're coming up. Around the area, 74 up in Mount Pocono. That's your cool spot at the moment. 83 in Philadelphia. 80s for just about everywhere else. 83 in Wildwood, 86 in Atlantic City. That's the hot spot right now. 84 in Dover. We'll show you the heat index so you get a sense of how it feels out there right now. Already feels like 90 in Wildwood, 94 in Atlantic City. 80s across much of the rest of the area. Still feels like only 74 in Mount Pocono, so definitely your cool spot right now. Upper 80s it feels like already. Our heat advisory is gone. We're not expecting heat indices to reach 105, 106 like they have in recent days. But you see they are still expecting some heat up in the New York metro area on up into southern New England. Temperatures not much different than they were at this time yesterday, only down a degree in Philly, down 3. Up north a little bit cooler than it has been, but feels about the same as it did yesterday. Here's the highs we reached yesterday. 95 in the city, 95 in Trenton, 94s for Wilmington, Reading, and Allentown. Just 84 in Atlantic City, so it was a bit cooler down the shore, and that's closer to Philadelphia's average for this time of year, 84 degrees. Here's what you can expect from the feels like temperature over the next couple hours. It'll feel like 91 at 11 by lunchtime, or by mid-afternoon, 96 at 3 p.m. Cooling down later. We do have a chance of rain later today. And here's a look at your Fox 29 Weather Authority forecast. Today, hot with a PM storm, 91 degrees. Hopefully they stay dry at the Eagles game, where at least during the game, playing at the Link tonight. Friday, cooler with a shower, 79 degrees. Phillies will be home. And Temple Owls will be taking the field Saturday when it's supposed to be 82, partly cloudy with a shower. Partly cloudy with a shower Sunday also, so some rain chances in the holiday weekend forecast. But then Monday we get hot again, 89 degrees for your barbecues and your outdoor events for the holiday weekend, the unofficial end of summer. Tuesday, hot and humid, 90 degrees. Wednesday, partly sunny, 89. We'll get you a look at the Shore and Poconos forecasts in a little bit. There's about to be a shakeup in the White House legal team, just as President Trump may be headed for some perilous waters. White House counsel Don McCain is departing, and as Doug Luzader reports this morning from Washington, D.C., it comes as Democrats could soon have some new powers to pursue the president.
Good morning. Well, it's not exactly the scallop wars, but things are likely to get heated around here, especially depending on what happens with the makeup of Congress after the midterm elections. Bottom line here, though, the current White House counsel is going to leave, so the White House is looking to hire some new attorneys.
Mr. President, any comment on Don McGahn?
Well, the president gets all of the attention. Don McGahn has been toiling behind the scenes. As White House counsel, he has been inundated. Just listen as he describes his portfolio.
Where I advise the president on a range of issues from constitutional law, executive power, whether or not we can go to war, judicial selection, administrative law.
And now he is leaving. Not exactly a shock, although the timing was a surprise, and President Trump had some kind words on his impending departure.
Don McGahn's a really good guy. Been with me for a long time. Privately before this, he represented me. He's been here now. It'll be almost 2 years, and a lot of affection for Don.
That affection aside, McGahn has played another important role. The White House point of contact for special counsel Robert Mueller, who's investigating possible election collusion and obstruction of justice. The New York Times reported that McGahn has been cooperating with Mueller.
Any concern about what he said to the Mueller team?
No, not at all. Not at all.
But what the president may be concerned about is who comes next. Because if Democrats win the House in the November midterm elections, the White House could be inundated with new investigations and perhaps the long-held desire of some on the left, a move to impeach the president. Now, McGahn's going to stick around for a little while, in part to help see through what the White House hopes will be the confirmation of Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh.
Again, that was Doug Luzader reporting from Washington, D.C. Let's take a live look at the White House here. It's always a very nice shot there that we have on that camera. surrounded by greenery, all the treetops around the White House, and you get the base of the Washington Monument in the background. The president is tweeting this morning. Let's get you a look at some of what he's had to say about the different topics here. One of the things he mentioned was that he says the only thing James Comey ever got right was when he said that President Trump was not under investigation. So that was among the things he said. Then he went on to talk a little bit about the report that we just had, and the departure of White House counsel Don McGahn. The rigged Russia witch hunt did not come into play even a little bit with respect to my decision on Don McGahn. So he's pushing back against some of the reporting there. It said that he was concerned about what McGahn may have told the Robert Mueller investigation. And 44 minutes ago or so, within the last hour, the president tweeted, "I'm very excited about the person who will be taking the place of Don McGahn as White House counsel. I like Don, but he was not responsible for me not firing Bob Mueller or Jeff Sessions. So much fake reporting and fake news." So the president pushing back on some of the reporting that's been out there. I believe it was the Washington Post yesterday reported that Don McGahn, while he had discussed his departure with White House officials, was surprised to see the president tweeting that his tenure was coming to an end. Elsewhere, happening today, a memorial service in Arizona for late Senator John McCain. McCain's political revival, but close friend and former President Joe Biden will be delivering the eulogy at today's church service. It follows an emotional day yesterday as McCain's wife and daughter, Cindy and Megan McCain, said goodbye. Despite the heat, hundreds lined up to pay their respects at the public viewing in Phoenix. McCain's body will be taken to Washington for tomorrow's viewing at the U.S. Capitol. Another person saying goodbye to McCain, is his 106-year-old mother, Roberta. She's expected to be at the services in Washington and Maryland. The senator, former prisoner of war, presidential candidate from the Republican Party, will be buried at the U.S. Naval Academy Cemetery. Now, there is from 12:45 today till 2:45 our time, I believe that is, Eastern time, yes. There will be a coverage of the memorial service at North Phoenix Baptist Church. That'll be on fox29.com and our Facebook page, Fox 29 Philadelphia. The memorial service at North Phoenix Baptist Church will begin at approximately 1 p.m. Senator McCain's family and friends, along with national, state, local, and tribal officials and business and civic leaders from across the state of Arizona, have been invited to attend the service. And then we'll have a little more coverage for you on Friday and Saturday, as well as more events are held to honor the late senator. Died of brain cancer, a courageous battle with brain cancer earlier this week. We have a story for you about the governor's race in Florida. A day after winning Florida's primary race for governor, President Trump endorsed Congressman Ron DeSantis is in hot water. Some people think he made racist comments about his liberal African-American opponent, Andrew Gillum, the mayor of Jacksonville. Fox 29's Katie Byrne has more in this report.
A day after winning Florida's primary race for governor,
as governor, I will work my butt off to accomplish great things for this state.
Congressman Ron DeSantis is in hot water for comments he made about his liberal African-American opponent that some are calling racist.
The last thing we need to do is to monkey this up by trying to embrace a socialist agenda with huge tax increases and bankrupting the state.
DeSantis later clarifying, saying his comment about Tallahassee Mayor Andrew Gillum wasn't racist.
Not at all. I mean, what I'm saying is Florida's going in a good direction. I don't want to screw it up with bad policies, and it's really focusing on his policies.
Gillum responded in a Fox News interview with Shepard Smith.
I'm not going to get down in the gutter with DeSantis and Trump. There's enough of that going on. I'm going to try and stay high and try to talk about what the North Star and the future is for the state of Florida and the people of this state. And I think that's what people want. They're just so sick of this divisive, derisive politics.
President Trump was asked about the controversy on Wednesday.
No, I didn't hear. Honestly, I tell you what, I know Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis is extraordinary, Harvard, Yale, brilliant, ran an incredible campaign.
DeSantis and Gillum will face off in the November election. If elected, Gillum would be Florida's first African-American governor. Katie Byrne, Fox 29 News.
That was Katie Byrne reporting. Let's get you to your AM Business Outlook. Canada and the U.S. might be able to make an agreement on trade by the U.S. deadline tomorrow. Fox Business Network's Tracy Carrasco has more in today's Morning Business Outlook.
Good morning. The S&P 500 and NASDAQ hitting record highs for the fourth day in a row, while the Dow added 60 points. Talks between the U.S. and Canada to reach a new trade deal resumed Thursday morning as President Trump and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau sound hopeful they can meet tomorrow's deadline. Canada rejoined the talks to revise the 24-year-old North American Free Trade Agreement after Mexico and the United States announced a bilateral deal on Monday. Amazon fired back at what it called, quote, inaccurate and misleading accusations by Senator Bernie Sanders, who said he will introduce a bill requiring large employers like Amazon and Walmart to pay a, quote, living wage or face a fine. Amazon disputed those claims, stating that the average hourly wage for a full-time associate is over $15 an hour, even inviting Sanders and his staff to tour one of its warehouses. That's business. For more, log on to foxbusiness.com. In New York, I'm Tracy Carrasco.
Again, that was Tracy Carrasco reporting with your Morning Business Outlook. Let's take a live look at the stock market. Currently down 71 points. It's about 0.3 of a percentage point. New York Stock Exchange. Dow Jones Industrial is at 26,044 points at the moment. I want to get you to an update on a story we brought you a little bit earlier. This is about the hearing this morning for convicted cop killer Mumia Abu-Jamal. He was in court for a hearing. He was requesting that his failed appeals attempts be vacated so he could once again appeal. That hearing has been continued for another 60 days. Thursday's hearing on his request was continued from April to give attorneys time to find a document the defense said was necessary to show the bias of State Supreme Court Justice Ronald Castile. This is according to the Associated Press. Lawyers for the former Black Panther, who spent 29 years on death row following his conviction in the 1981 murder of Philadelphia police officer Daniel Faulkner, they're petitioning under the Post-Conviction Relief Act to have his previous appeals thrown out to make way for the new appeal. Abu-Jamal's attorneys say Castile is biased because when he was Philadelphia's district attorney, his office succeeded in getting the state Supreme Court to uphold Abu-Jamal's conviction. So a bit of news there that his appeal hearing got a 60-day continuance. We'll have more for you on this on tonight's Fox 29 News at 5, 6, 10, and 11. Let's take a live look out at this is Ocean City, New Jersey. Our camera on top of Shrivers. See folks out early, getting some sun, cooling off in the water there. It's been hot in our area. We've certainly had a heat wave, and not just temperatures in the 90s, but the last 2 days it feels like temperatures up over the century mark. As high as, I believe, 106 on some areas on Tuesday, and back in that neighborhood on Wednesday. We don't expect it to get as hot today, or feel as hot, I should say, but we will have warm temperatures again. That's a nice ride for the surfer there. Haven't had much rain to speak of. Let's show you. Nothing yesterday. Nothing so far today. Current temperatures. Excuse me, that's the heat index. Current temperatures, there we go. 83 in Philadelphia. 80s across much of the area. A little bit cooler up north. Your northeast temperatures. See the 60s in Toronto, Rochester, Burlington, but 80s across much of the northern seaboard. A lot of orange there right along the coast. Hitting 87 in Ocean City, Maryland, I believe that is, down there. 70s back into the Midwest. Satellite, not seeing much cloud cover right now. Visibility is 10s across the area. We don't have much information on the almanac there at the moment. But here's what you can expect in terms of the feels like temperature. Reaching into, it's going to feel like the upper 90s by mid-afternoon before we cool off with those possible PM storms. Here's your 7-day forecast for the shore from the Fox 29 Weather Authority. 80s across the board. 80 tomorrow, 81 on Saturday, 86 with some storms, it looks like. Some clouded conditions next couple days, but partly sunny later after the holiday weekend next week. So probably some sun and clouds a mix for the most part, but temperatures in the 80s. Here comes your Poconos forecast. 66 tomorrow, 70s on Saturday and Sunday. Very cool on Friday, 66. 70s to start your holiday weekend. 81 on Monday for the holiday. Tuesday, 84 when folks go back to work and back to school. 82 Wednesday and 79 Thursday. And your Fox 49 Weather Authority 7-day forecast for the city and suburbs. 91 today. We're calling it a 7 because it's still pretty humid out there. 7 today, tomorrow, and Saturday. 79 cooler with a shower on Friday. Different reasons. Saturday, partly cloudy with a shower and a high of 82. Overnight temperatures in the 70s. So not quite super comfortable sleeping conditions yet, but we're getting there. 86 on Sunday. Partly cloudy with a shower again, so rain chances both Saturday and Sunday. Hot again Monday, 89. Tuesday, hot and humid, 90. And Wednesday, partly sunny, 89. So it looks like we will have nice weather for the barbecues and outdoor events and everything else that you're going to do. The last hurrah at the shore maybe, or up the mountains for the unofficial end of summer. Of course, I think we have some beautiful weather in this area in September. If you can get down the shore on the weekends, if you can get a later vacation in, it's a lovely time to be down, to be vacationing in our area. Let's give you a look at conditions around the region. Here come our Weather Authority cameras. Hello again, Paul Ruppel here with Fox 29 News Now. I want to get you to two stories that are breaking at this moment. The first is information from the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Massachusetts. They say a California man has been charged with making violent threats against Boston Globe employees. Now, I'm reading the news release here. A California man was arrested today and charged with making violent threats against Boston Globe employees in retaliation for the newspaper's editorial response to political attacks on the media. You may remember the Globe was organized. Let's take this off for a moment. The Globe organized a series of editorials by papers across the country related to the president's comments about the media and his criticism of the media as an enemy of the people. According to the Globe, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Massachusetts, Robert D. Chain, 68, of Encino, California, is charged with one count of making threatening communications in interstate commerce. Chain will appear in federal court in Los Angeles this afternoon and be transferred to Boston at a later date. There's some quotes here. Let's get the information. So as I mentioned, on August 10th, 2018, the Globe announced it was requesting that other newspaper publications around the country publish a coordinated editorial response to political attacks on the media. The coordinated editorial response was to be published on Thursday, August 16th, 2018. I'm reading to you from the U.S. Attorney's Office news release. According to the court documents, immediately following the announcement, Chain began making threatening calls to the Boston Globe's newsroom. In the calls, Chain referred to the Globe as, quote, the enemy of the people, end quote, and threatened to kill newspaper employees. In total, it's alleged that Chain made approximately 14 threatening phone calls to the Globe between August 10th and 22nd of 2018. It's further alleged that on August 16, 2018, the day the coordinated editorial response was published in the Globe, Chain called the Globe newsroom and threatened to shoot Globe employees in the head, quote, later today at 4 o'clock, end quote. As a result of that call, local law enforcement responded to the Globe's offices and maintained a presence outside the building to ensure the safety of the employees. The charge of making threatening communications in interstate commerce provides for a sentence of no greater than 5 years, 1 year of supervised release, and a fine of $250,000. So again, California man charged with threatening the Boston Globe. This comes on the heels of the shooting at the Annapolis News-Gazette, I believe that was the name of the paper, in Maryland, in Annapolis, Maryland. The president, of course, has criticized the media, calling outlets that he's selected, what he calls the fake news media, enemies of the people. The Globe organized an editorial campaign against that commentary by the president, and it seems that a California man has now been charged with threatening employees at the Boston Globe where that editorial campaign was being organized. In the meantime, I want to get you information. This is a story that was just published to fox29.com and tweeted on our Twitter account. Authorities in Bucks County are asking for the public's assistance to locate a missing 21-year-old woman. Try to pronounce her name. Christina Guiffre, Giuffre, of the Forsythia Gate section of Langhorne, has been missing since Wednesday afternoon around 3 p.m., according to police. She was last seen in Croydon, Bristol Township, and was supposed to show up for work at Retro Fitness on New Falls Road at 5 p.m., but never reported for her shift. Police say she drives a Honda Civic, and attempts to contact her cell phone have been unsuccessful. Anyone with information about her whereabouts is asked to contact Middletown Township Police at 215-949-1000 or call 911 if you're outside of Middletown Township and have contact with her. Middletown Township Police Department has posted a picture of Christina. I guess this was some additional information they obtained about the clothing and vehicle because they posted an update. She was last seen wearing a red tank top and either had white or gray pants on. The tag on her Honda is Pennsylvania plate KMN 0274. Again, the 21-year-old was from the Forsythia Gate section of Langhorne, and she's been missing since yesterday afternoon. Getting some live video in. I'm going to take a look at what this is. That's what I thought it was. Here's live video from KSAZ, our sister station in Phoenix. This is the North Phoenix Baptist Church, where folks are lined up to pay their respects to Senator John McCain, the longtime senator, one-time prisoner of war during the Vietnam War, Republican Party standard bearer in the presidential campaign. Services are being held today. I believe Vice President Joe Biden, mentioned earlier, is delivering a eulogy today at those services. We'll have continuing coverage for you on fox29.com, on our Facebook page as well. The services then move to Washington, D.C., where Senator McCain's body will lie in state at the Capitol building, and there will be more services over Friday and Saturday. Some of those we'll bring to you on our website. I believe on Saturday we're going to have live coverage of some of the services and the burial. Senator McCain is going to be buried at the U.S. Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland. The U.S. Naval Academy Cemetery. I believe that's in Annapolis. But the services are being held both in Washington and Maryland. Let's take one more live look outside our studios here in Old City, Philadelphia. Temperature's 83, dew point 68. Winds out of the north at 13 miles per hour. We'll get you a shot of the Benjamin Franklin Parkway as well. Here we go. This is where they're preparing for the Made in America Festival this weekend. As you can see, they're making preparations there. It looks like they've got the road shut down at the moment on the parkway. As we mentioned, there are rain chances on Saturday and Sunday here in Philadelphia. The Made in America Festival will feature crews are continuing their work to get ready for the weekend festival. Much of the area is already closed to traffic. The festival will feature more than 60 musicians, including Nicki Minaj, Post Malone, and Meek Mill. It will benefit the ACLU of Pennsylvania and the United Way of Greater Philly and South Jersey. Looks like they may be testing the screen back there. I think I see a screen going on and off, changing color. So there'll be lots of big gathering again. Of course, there was some discussion about whether the event would return to the Parkway beyond this year, that it could be looking for a new home, but Jay-Z and Mayor Jim Kenney got together and hammered out a new understanding to keep the event on the Parkway beyond this year. Saw some very nice, look like a nice conditions. Let's get you a look at Cape May, New Jersey again. All those umbrellas out there. See some sandcastle digging there on the beach. Let's take you around the shore points here. Here comes Wildwood, New Jersey. Look at the boardwalk. Surrey's still out there. Joggers, walkers, shoppers. Everybody enjoying the week. Probably some vacation rentals down there. Of course, people who live down there year-round or have summer homes. And next, let's go to Ocean City. Another beach shot there. You see the wind kicking up a little bit there. Just picked up the flag. Light at moments and breezy the next. And here's Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. Things bustling in the beach town there. Let's recap those two stories we brought you moments ago. This one's breaking at the moment. California man has been arrested, charged with making violent threats against Boston Globe employees. Apparently upset over the editorial campaign that was begun and by the Globe, encouraged at other newspapers across the country. He is now charged with crimes for his actions, allegedly calling the newspaper, I believe they said, up to 14 times, including ones where he threatened to shoot employees in the head. And we have this image here from Middletown Township Police of a missing 21-year-old, Christina. Gonna try this again. Guifrey of Langhorne. She's been missing since Wednesday around 3 p.m. She failed to show for work at Retro Fitness on New Falls Road. Police are looking for her. They've put out the tag on her Honda, which is a Pennsylvania plate KMN 0274. If you have any information about her whereabouts, please do contact Middletown Township Police or call 911. And as we mentioned, the hearing today for Mumia Abu-Jamal has been continued for 60 days. He was back in court requesting that his failed appeals attempts be vacated, but the hearing's been continued for another 60 days at this time. Take one more look at the stock market before we go. Down about 1/4 of a percentage point, 67 points off the mark at the moment. Still above the 26,000 mark. And we can show you this live look at the, it looks like a reporter's about to do a report for KSAZ in Phoenix. media tent set up there for the services that are being held for the late Senator John McCain. We'll have some of those for you on fox29.com and on our Facebook page. Let's send you out with another live look at the Parkway. Happy Thursday, everybody. We're one day away from Friday and the holiday weekend. I want to thank you very much for watching Fox 29 News Now. Have a great day, and we'll see you again tomorrow.